How much does it cost to maintain an average home? Hi, this is Julia M. Spencer. I'm a real estate advisor, investor, and your #1 source for real estate advice online. Now, I do this full time. This is my job, but it is not something that takes me full time in terms of time. And my job is to also publish audiobooks on my website, which you see down here below, on any and all kinds of real estate topics. I've been investing in real estate for 25 years. I have a lot of experience. I've made pretty much all mistakes that anybody could ever make in real estate investing, and I want to share that knowledge with you. Now, don't take it from me. Go to my website. There's a tab there that has testimonials from other people that have purchased my audiobooks, that have asked me questions, and you can read there all for yourself the kinds of information that I give. Now, I'm like a no gimmicks kind of person. You can go online today and you can find all kinds of information. They'll send you free products, and then they'll send you to seminars which are going to cost you thousands of dollars to attend. In fact, recently I had a lady that came to me and she's asked me, please give me some advice and don't screw me over, because the last guy I've given some money to, they said I would have to pay thousands of dollars just to attend an auction with them. And my thought was, thousands of dollars to attend an auction. I don't do those kinds of gimmicks. I'm pretty much a down-to-earth person. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. I know all the details, all the tricks, and everything there is to know about real estate investing. So go to my website today. There's best-selling books there. Some of the topics of the books that I have are on how to be a good landlord, on how to invest in real estate if you're a foreigner, you want to come to the United States. I also have an audiobook on tax sale investing. This is my newest audiobook and the coolest and the most popular, actually. And that audiobook basically is on how to go to these auctions that you hear about on late night TV, those infomercials, and you can buy properties for $1,000, $1,500 that are then worth $40,000 or $50,000, and you can sell them for this huge profit, almost unimaginable. And some of the things that you need to do to go after those properties. And yes, those deals are available. This is not a joke. This is not a program that I'm going to sell you an additional program. I actually have this audiobook already prepared. You can download it today. You can find out how to purchase yourself a property for that cheap. In fact, very recently, and I do a lot of real estate deals, but some of the deals, let me give you just an example. I buy these properties for $1,500, $1,300, $2,000, and then I go around and sell them for $20,000 or $30,000. Or I make them rentals and just have a monthly income on each one of them. That's the kind of stuff that I do. That's what I want to teach you, because I wanted to get you out of the daily working rut, unless you of course enjoy your job, but just get some extra income if you like. But go to my website today, Julia M. Spencer, after you watch this video, and subscribe to my newsletter there. You'll get an offer, very cool, awesome offer for a free guide to real estate investing, and then you can check out all my products there. But let's talk about this video right here, because this video is about how much does it actually cost to maintain an average home. And this might be new for some of the people that are out there that are trying to buy a home. If you're a new home, in the market for a new home, or you're a first-time home buyer, and you're just kind of wondering, how much is this going to cost me? And I wanted to refer to an article that a friend of mine actually recently sent me, and the discussion that we had, and I have these discussions with my fellow investors and also people that are trying to invest and are just homeowners about all kinds of topics. So he sent me this article, and I'm actually going to include a link to this article at the bottom of this video. You can just go down into the comment section, and you can see, or a description actually of this video, and you can see the link of it, and hopefully it's still there when you go to this link. If not, let me know, I can send you a link. But basically that kind of video tells you, or that article actually told you what you could expect to pay if you're a homeowner. Now, the discussion with the friend that I had was, he made an argument that he really wanted to buy a condo, and the condo association fees were just astronomical. They were just way above the roof. And he said, well, it includes this and this and this and this, and if I bought a home, a personal family home, I would have to pay all those things also. And by the way, Julia, here's this article. Analyze this article for me. So I'm going to analyze this article. I have analyzed it for him already, but I'm going to analyze it for you because I want you to know what it costs actually to maintain a home. If you were to purchase a home, some of the things that you need to expect. Maybe you're renting right now. Maybe you're, just about to move out from, college dorm rooms or from your parents, and you're purchasing your first home. You have your first new job. This is the kind of stuff that you need to expect. Now, the article talks, and you can read the article below, but basically the article is, okay, what does it cost to maintain an average home that costs $350,000? And the first red flag that went out for me basically is there is no home out there. I mean, the average of $350,000, that's quite an expensive home. If you're a first-time home buyer, or maybe you're a retired person, or just an average person, that is not the amount that you would be paying for a home. I've not purchased in any of my first maybe 20 or 30 properties that I've owned, and none of the properties I ever lived in were that expensive. Now, I live in a very cheap area. I live in the coastal area of Georgia right now. I've lived in Florida, California, several other places in the United States. Now, unless you're actually living in a very high-end metropolitan area, maybe Washington, D.C., New York City, those kinds of places, Los Angeles, you're going to be paying an average of $350,000 for a home. However, if you're mainstream America, that is not the price you'd be paying. So we're already off on that article on the definition of what is the cost of an average home. Now, 350, I don't know how they got this average, but if you had any kind of statistics classes, maybe you went to business school or maybe you had it in high school, you also need to understand what that means when they say average. Average is an average of all the pieces, sample pieces that I've included in the average. So maybe they've included an equal amount of low price homes and an equal amount of high price homes to come to the average, which is still kind of a high number. But you also have to look at the spread and the distribution. So check back on your statistics classes, check and see some of the information there. But it's also very important that probably the mainstream America is much lower, and then there's a few, maybe 10%, 25% of homes in the United States that are extremely expensive, that are going to push the average way up, which doesn't reflect the true average that an American home buyer would buy for a first home. And this video is mostly geared towards the people that purchase their home for the very first time, that don't understand what the costs are associated. Now, if you're purchasing a home for $350,000 as your first home, you're probably already quite experienced on what it costs to maintain a home like that. So let's go through the costs a little bit here. I actually made a little bit of a sheet here where you can look. The article says that it takes $1,126 a month to maintain an average home that costs $350,000. We already talked about the $350,000 part, but let's talk about how they itemize it, because this is important. Now, they're talking, the first thing in that article is about homeowners insurance costing $79 a month. Now, that's probably an accurate number. Homeowners insurance is actually pretty expensive, but when you're going off a house that is actually, they say it's an average home, I don't think it is, but if you go on a house that's worth $350K, then that's probably an accurate number. You can probably reduce that number by half if you're looking at a house that's maybe half of that amount, $180,000 or something like that. Then they're talking about PMI, and they're saying PMI will be $86 a month. Now, let me tell you what PMI is. Actually, probably I should back up and say what homeowners insurance is, but basically, homeowners insurance is what covers any kind of damages to your home. It's basically if you have a fire, if there is a storm and your roof shingles all fly off and all of a sudden now you have a claim for a new roof, and things like that. It's homeowners insurance. But to read your insurance policy, I recommend everybody that I know that has ever owned insurance policies, they get these insurance policies and they never read any of it. And you don't have to read every page of it because there's going to be a lot of pages, but you need to basically understand what exactly it states in there, because you need to know what you're covered for if you purchase a home. So let's talk about PMI next. What is PMI? PMI is private mortgage insurance. This is an insurance that the mortgage companies will make you have no choice about this. They make you take this insurance in order to insure your mortgage. And the reason they do this, in case you default with all the foreclosures that have been happening lately, they want to have some sort of insurance that if you get foreclosed on, that you then subsequently do not default, that the insurance kicks in and makes those payments for you. The one thing that they don't tell you is private mortgage insurance is only for properties that are mortgaged with less than 20% down. Now, it's very difficult right now in this market today to get a mortgage that is where you can put less than 20% down. Now, I've done it before the mortgage crisis, before the market went down, maybe like 10, I think it was like about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And private mortgage insurance, they will make you have that if you put less than 20% down. Like, for example, if you have just a normal loan and you had 100% financing, for example. But a lot of people, the way the mortgage business is, a lot of people finance a home with 20% down. If they don't have 20% down, what they usually do, and this has been done by mortgage companies, is they get you two loans, one loan for 80%, one loan for 20%, so then you can use the first loan, the 20% one, to put down on the house, which now you have a 20% down payment, and then you have a second mortgage, which is the 80%, or vice versa. In any case, you don't have to pay that PMI. That PMI pretty much non-existent unless you can figure out some way to get 100% financing from just one mortgage company, from one loan. So you can forget that number. In fact, I'm going to cross it out. The next thing, lawn and snow service. This is basically the outside maintenance of a home. $106 a month. It's about accurate, I would say. It just depends on what market you're in. Now, if you're in a place where snow just falls every day in the winter, I've never lived in a place like that. You probably, as the listeners of this video, would know better. But for lawn care, I typically pay about $100 a month, at least for a property. That number could probably actually go a little bit up, but if you average it out, if you're looking at lawn service, you're not going to need lawn service all throughout the year, and you're not going to need snow service all throughout the year. So on average, about $100 a month is probably accurate. Now, utilities, $190 a month. I want to live there. I actually never ever paid, and this is utilities for power, for water, for trash pickup, for gas, if you have a gas line going to your house. Some houses have both electric and gas, but this is kind of low. I would probably make that number go just a little bit higher. I would make it $400, about approximately $400 at least. Our weather here in Savannah actually makes it very hard to meet that number. Usually I pay probably about $300 to $400 a month just an electric bill in the summer, because we have the air conditioning going like crazy because it's so hot here. And probably the same is true if you have a heating system and you're trying to run that heating system in the winter in very cold climates. That number is not going to cut it. I would probably make that higher. Now let's talk about the next numbers here. Homeowners Association. This is not the same as homeowners insurance. Homeowners Association fees are for if you belong to like a suburban area, a community where everybody contributes a certain amount of money every month to a conglomerate fund for everybody, and then they maintain maybe a little park in the middle of the community, or maybe a pool area, or what I have experienced is they put these little poles out there for doggy bags. In case people walking their dogs, they can pick up the refuse from the dogs that they walk. Things like that. That would be Homeowners Association. Now, I live in an area where there's a bunch of ponds. They need maintaining as well. They need chemicals. They need to be cleaned up once a year and things like that. So, but $200 a month now if you have your own personal home. Now, if you have a condo, this is a different amount. If you have a condo, condos usually come with a lot more amenities than single family homes. So this is probably a good amount to account for if you own a condo. And the only condo that I've ever lived in that I owned, it was about $150 a month, and it was slowly creeping up. But the friend that I actually made this video for and that I've had this discussion with, his condo association fees, or homeowners association fees, same thing depending on what kind of home you have, were astronomical. They were actually more than his mortgage would have been. So this is why I had advised him against buying that particular condo. I would probably suggest to reduce that number to about 150. And most times, and you have to check on this before you purchase a property, but most times for a property, actually I own a property, only one property right now that has a homeowners association fee. It's only about $50 a year, so it's pretty much non-existent. It does not require a lot to account for this, unless you're living in a condo with some really fine amenities. If you're buying a single family home in a normal neighborhood, in a typical suburban area, this number is pretty much non-existent. So you can pretty much think, if it's a condo, 150. If it's a normal home, it might be, let's say, $10 a month or something. Let's talk some more. All right, now they're saying repairs. Repairs are going to be $291 a month to maintain a home. And we had a really long discussion about this, because this is what I want to say about this number. $291 a month to maintain a home translates to $3,500 almost on maintaining a home that you just purchased. Now, the one thing about this is it all just depends. It just depends. So here is what I want to say about that. On average, probably one thing in your home will break every 2 to 3 months, let's say. If you have a newer home, like not completely brand new, but like newer, maybe 10 years old or something like that. You can count on a home breaking maybe 10 years old. You can count on a home probably breaking 2 to 3 times per quarter, per 4 months, which is 4 months. If you have a home that's older, that's maybe anything that's over, let's say 30, anything that's over 25 years, I would say. 25 years is kind of like, or 20 years, let's just do 20 years. 20 years old, probably stuff will break probably once a month. And if it's older than that, it might be even more than once a month. So, but now if you're buying a brand new home that was just built or is less than 10 years old, it's very, very extremely unlikely that anything's going to break in the first year at all. And if it does, then you've made a mistake purchasing it, because you should have bought in the beginning, before you close, you should have done an inspection. You should have hired a home inspector. You can hire them. They're independent contractors. They do not work for the mortgage companies, and I also don't work for the seller or the buyer or the realtor. These are people who are just hired independently, and they go through your home and they itemize every little thing that is about to break or is already broken, and then you can go into the contract, and you usually have time for this. You have time for due diligence to analyze a home that you're buying, and you can basically say, hey, all this stuff my inspector found, fix it before I close, before I buy this home. And you basically are very interested in this case to look at all your systems and your roof and your structure. Which structure, if you have structural problems with a home that you're trying to buy, just don't buy it, because that's going to be a big problem. But air conditioning, heating, HVAC system, your plumbing, your electrical, those are the main system requirements that you need to have fixed. So what I'm trying to say with that is, if you have a newer home, this number, I would just say about $50 a month at the most. And on top of that, as soon as you purchase your home, I recommend to buy a homeowner's warranty. This is separate from homeowners insurance. And it basically is something that you pay maybe $50 a month to, and anytime anything breaks in the house, you call them up, they send the contractor $75 copay and they'll fix it for you. Maybe a little bit more sometimes, depending on what kind of problem it is. You might have a cost share. But this number is just astronomical. I would not count this number as the number to go by when maintaining a home. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is taxes. Now, taxes is actually pretty cool, whether you're a homeowner, whether you're an investor, or whatever other purpose that you're purchasing that house for. But taxes are tax deductible. Any tax that you pay to United States government is tax deductible. This amount will be tax deductible on your taxes. And actually this amount right here, your taxes, as well as PMI if you have it, and your homeowner's insurance, all these three amounts will be included in your mortgage statement. I'm sorry, let me step away. So your homeowner's insurance, your PMI, and your taxes will be part of your mortgage payment every month. If you have a mortgage, they're going to actually collect that money from you, spread it out over 12 months, obviously. So if you have to pay, homeowner's insurance of $80 a month, let's say, that's going to be added to your mortgage that you pay for the month. So you don't have to come up once a year with this $1,000 amount to pay it. The same with taxes and PMI. Your mortgage company is usually going to take care of that. I'm talking as if you're purchasing the property here in the state of Georgia. In Georgia, there's a law for mortgage companies to have an escrow account, which means that they collect extra additional money on top of the mortgage to pay for these expenses, so you don't get foreclosed on taxes and lose your property. But that's a whole other topic. That's something you need to check up on if you check on my book on tax sale foreclosures. So all in all, when we count all of this together, to maintain a home, it actually doesn't cost as much. In fact, so when I add all these amounts together, the adjusted amounts, it comes to about $800. I basically use this amount. I didn't use that. I used $100 here, $400 here, $10 here, $174, $50, and this is just the yearly repair amount if you were to use this number. So I deleted that. So the total amount basically for maintaining a home is actually not this, but about $800. Now, the cool thing about this is if you rent out your property, all of that is tax deductible, every little bit of it. So that's the cool thing. And the other cool thing about this is that your taxes are actually tax deductible, so is your PMI if you're living in the home. So it's actually not that much to maintain a home as this article suggests. The numbers are a little bit different, and you can also play with these numbers according to what your budget is and what you're trying to do. A lot of homeowners do their own lawn care. A lot of people try to save on buying properties that don't have high homeowners association fees. You also put 20% down, obviously, so you don't have to pay that. You can also shop around for homeowners insurance. I recommend to shop around for homeowners insurance every single year, because most people get it whatever the recommended homeowners insurance is when they purchase it, because there's enough stuff to do already to close on the house, so you don't have time to really shop for it. But do that every year. Go check and see what the other offers are, because if you stick with the same company, they really don't have an incentive to give you the best price. And a lot of people also do their repairs themselves, or else they kind of wait to do all the repairs together at the later time when everything has to be done, or get a lot of these repairs taken care of before you close on a house. For more tips like this, please go to my website. It's at the bottom of this video right here. I have all kinds of really cool information about this topic and many other real estate topics. Just send me your questions. You can add comments to this video also, and I love to make new videos whenever I have time. I accumulate all my questions and start making videos for people so they can learn and use the kind of information that I've gathered over 25 years of real estate investing or being a homeowner. And I hope to see you investing very successfully soon. Do not forget to go to this website right here, right now, and subscribe, juliamspencer.com, and I look forward to hear from you soon. Thank you.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.